Palestinian representative to the United Nations, Riyadh Mansour, joins me now from the UN headquarters in New York. Many thanks for joining the programme. What is your reaction to the events of the last few hours, the US veto at the UNSC?
It's very regrettable that the United States now, after almost 145 days of the continuing of this crime against our people in the Gaza Strip, described, by, those who went to the ICJ as a genocidal, war against the Palestinian people by the occupying power, and not to yet agree through a resolution in the Security Council to call for an immediate ceasefire, call it whatever, humanitarian, describe it as you wish, but immediate ceasefire as requested by the Secretary General of the UN and almost all humanitarian agencies of the United Nations and massive number of countries in the General Assembly and almost everyone in the Security Council with the exception of the United States of America. So it is regrettable. It is the wrong message to be sent by the Security Council to Israel, and we will continue knocking on the door of the Security Council, the General Assembly, all components of the United Nations, including I myself. I was before the ICJ yesterday, in which I pleaded the case of the Palestinian people through the tremendous amount of pain that, to be a Palestinian today, to convey it to all the judges in the ICJ in a humane, in an emotional, and hopefully in an effective way, so that the ICJ to also add their voice through the provisional measures that amounts to a calling for a ceasefire for Israel to stop its action and its crime, so that the 6 provisional measures that the ICJ requested to be able to be implemented.
And Mr. Mansour, what did you make of the explanation given by Linda Thomas-Greenfield, the UN ambassador, when she explained why the US had used their veto? She said that the current resolution, the Algerian resolution, would put sensitive negotiations in jeopardy.
That is not true, because 2 of those who are involved in this sensitive negotiation, the representative of Qatar and Egypt, indicated that that is not so. Ceasefire will help the negotiation to move forward swiftly and, to accomplish the objective of the exchange of prisoners, hostages, and therefore it is not what was claimed. And also, let me add, if the idea that they are now introducing a draft resolution to call for a long ceasefire, long-lasting ceasefire, or a long-lasting pause, who is stopping the United States if it can convince Israel to implement that in order to help the current, underway negotiation from implementing that? Nobody would be objecting. Nobody will be unhappy. All of us, we will welcome any action that will stop the killing and save lives of the Palestinian people.
So the US have proposed their own draft resolution. What is going to happen with that? Are members like yourself going to be examining that further? Is that something that you're going to consider?
My understanding that the normal mechanism in the Security Council, any member can introduce draft resolutions. They engage in consultations and amendments and changes, and if they reach an agreement, and then they can proceed to vote on that draft resolution. They can also introduce it to, excuse me, to be put to a vote, even if they don't agree, provided that the American side can muster enough number of countries to cross the threshold without any of the permanent members to cast a veto. Excuse me.
OK, I'll let you go. Thank you so much for joining us.
We will see. We will. You're very welcome.
Thank you so much. The Palestinian ambassador to the United Nations, Riyadh Mansour, speaking to us there from the UN headquarters in New York.